weapon's exhausted, it'll start absorbing energy. When the energy pool is dried up, it'll retreat to a lower level. Use that chance to follow it down. Chip away at it to break off the platforms.
Hey all, Siege here, and let's talk a little bit about events. Something that's becoming more and more prevalent these days as seasonal or at least limited time content. Heck, we've got a couple coming in Warframe. They've been a mainstay in Destiny for as long as I can remember, and I think you can even make the case that portions of Destiny Season Pass are themselves events, the Vex Offensive being the most recent case. Not to mention the Dawning, Revelry, and other more traditional style events that the game has already had. These are usually fun little additions meant to break up the monotony of the typical game loop, and I really appreciate when they come to town. Generally trying to catch them even if I'm not actively logging in every day to the game. Typically they offer some interesting rewards, cosmetics, things of that nature, and aren't necessarily imperative to do, even if you are a serious player. Then Monster Hunter comes along and just fucks everything up. The Safi Jiva event specifically has completely changed my outlook on what events should, or at least could, be. And I want to see if you agree with this. Here goes. First, let's talk about what the event actually is. For those that don't know, the Safi Jiva Siege is an encounter consisting of one unique monster only available during that event and can be hunted repeatedly for 3 specific types of unique rewards. Monster parts, something called Dracolite, and Safi's unique weapons. These weapons look ridiculously good, and the armor is equally as awesome. Not only that, but both the weapons and the armor have incredible effects that change depending on upgrades and even certain conditions during the battle. So look-wise, this shit is all completely on point. But that's really the least impressive thing about this stuff. Truth be told, it's something I've wanted for a very long time in both Destiny and Warframe, and for those that don't know or play Monster Hunter World, this is the kind of shit that gets me excited for an event. But instead of me telling you about it, why don't we hear about these weapons from the horse's mouth? Everybody remember this guy?
Hey everyone, how you doing?
So, what I want to know is, what are you going to do for us today?
Well, I was going to go over some strategies and stuff I like to use for the fight itself. I think that'd be the first place to start. You know, I just think that...
Hey. Not that. I'm talking about firepower.
Well, you're talking to the right guy. Safi Shatterbow, 120 blast, 3 additional level 5 attack increases, Val Sylvain skill slot to allow for both the Safi and Val set bonuses, with an extra level 4 gem to get all the skills I need. 2 downtown? I agree. You know what? You're not a hunter. I'm getting rid of it. Let me tell you something. Size does matter. Don't let anyone tell you different. This is a Safi's snipe cannon from Selenia. They do make something better than dinner, let me tell you. It's got normal 2, spread 2, pierce, cluster, and sticky 3, wyvern slicing, paralysis, and poison ammo. Upgraded with 4 maxed out attack increases. The Throne Taker, Bone Maker. Our boys in the workshop call it Uncle Lunestro and Old Painless. You're tough. Okay. Here it is. This is my Great Spirit Vein Gem, my Rigid Dracolite, my Celestial Blueprint. Safi's Longsword, with that Val Hazak continuous healing perk, 2 levels of maxed out damage increase, level 5 Sharpness Edition for a ton of white sharpness, and that extra 4 level gem to complete all of my builds. This sword is capable of killing the monster it's killing is thinking about killing. If it were any stronger, it would kill the monster it's hunting just by looking at it. And it would grow an eye so it could see every monster in existence. Ever. It's got 957 attack, 210 blast element, and it's capable of reducing the population of any and all monsters in the general vicinity to 0. I call it the X-Life. It's the best I got. So, what do you think? Did I suit what you wanted? I can't read you. You're like a sphinx.
No, man, they're perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for. Thank you.
You need me to describe the event?
No, I got it. You may go now.
Okay.
Now, regardless if you think these weapons are shit or not,
Hey!
The beauty is, you can do whatever you like. Some might want all damage. Well, you can do that. Maybe you like a nice mix or something specific to your build. Point is, on top of the general augment system available to all weapons in the game, something that could probably use a little bit of work, you can make whatever you need. Once you receive your initial rewards from a completed siege, that's when you can really begin the customization. And what's really nice is all the rewards you do receive work in a kind of cyclical manner. Check this out. Monster parts that aren't used for crafting gear can be reconstituted into other Safi weapons. These weapons can then be either upgraded themselves or broken down further into this Dracolite resource, which is what is required to upgrade or awaken these weapons. So it's like currency that doesn't actually just sit in your inventory forever and do nothing until hopefully that event comes back. Imagine that. Truth be told, I think this is the one resource I never feel I have enough of. So it actually makes sense that these events become must-play situations. Somewhat like the Acolytes used to be in Warframe, but I feel like with recent melee changes, they've kind of made those mods a little bit less valuable and definitely not nearly as worthwhile to chase given the RNG aspect and how they need to be acquired. Not to mention the fact that I have all of them now. Which is kind of another intrinsic benefit of this Safi Siege, being that every completed run gives you at least something you want. Maybe you didn't get the weapon you were looking for, but you got animal parts and Dracolite to improve what you already have. Not to mention, the fight itself is actually pretty fun, and although I would recommend doing it in a group, you don't have to if you're nasty. Of course, it's, up to you. If you're a solo player like myself, fret not, because you can just adjust your settings and join a group. Just make sure you actually do the fight and try not to die, basic stuff. Certain meals can definitely help that, by the way. Can you see, though, how this event really does facilitate replayability? Oh, you know what? I forgot to even mention, the fight itself is only 20 minutes, not the typical 50-minute war. I'm not saying I can't handle these 50-minute fights in Monster Hunter, but 20 minutes is just, better. It's just a lot quicker. Anyway, I'm not sure how much more I need to say. It's a limited time event. Best weapons in class of every class, if upgraded properly. Extremely strong armor set that's aesthetically pleasing. A satisfying fight. An excellent monster design. Reusable, desirable resources. And a ton of replayability. Based purely on the way the weapons can be endlessly changed to suit, well, whatever in game you want to do. I had mentioned earlier that I always wanted the ability to build or at least manipulate weapons in both Destiny and in Warframe by individual stat, not just by mods or switchable perks. Like, say if in Destiny 2 you would use this same blueprint. You get a base frame dropped at the end of the boss in the infinite haunted Revelrick whatever forest. Could be anything. Then you use materials earned in the battle to add perks to it. Then you just keep going. Do you rampage, kill clip, multi-kill clip? Keep going. You want ricochet rounds, high caliber, whatever. Just keep going. Heck, maybe these weapons have an intrinsic perk specific to character. Reload speed for Titans, range for Hunters, and handling for Warlocks. And I feel like making it noticeable would enhance the uniqueness of it. The fact that Destiny is moving away from infusion, at least on legendary weapons, will allow these weapons to never be a problem, especially if the event happens towards the end of the year. Not really sure how they're going to work with how long a gun will be able to be infused. The figure they used was 9 to 15 months, so I'm guessing these would probably be on the 9-month side, but would, in theory, allow a player to build their own god weapons, versus consistently having them dropped and then running out of space because you have 10 of them in the vault. This would reduce the need for that sort of thing, although if you wanted multiples, hey, knock yourself out. You're only adding to the whole replayability thing. Warframe could do the same thing. Instead of modding to change stats, maybe these weapons can change base stats on top of the mods that you already have. Critical chance, reload speed, whatever, and the mods would work off of that, If it were possible to get the type of weapon that you'd like to play with in Warframe with stats upgraded to complement your current build or your current Warframe that you're using, be it a crit build, status build, hybrid, some other thing I don't know about, whatever, and I learned this event only happened a few times a year and was also the only place to farm these materials needed to make the weapons of my dreams, I would definitely be hopping on for some Warframe for that week or for however long it was. I mean, really, is there any difference between this and just getting like a God Rolled Ribbon mod? Weapons would be equal in power, but at least with this, you could choose what you were getting versus it being completely RNG. Personally, I'd like to have the event have a special boss fight, though. Like some type of boss that would be repelled overall, more so than being killed, as I think it fits the narrative, right? Something even in the vein of the Undying Mind, you know, it even works with the name in Destiny. And in Warframe, how about Vor? Vor can regenerate, and I feel like a refresh could be in order for the old boy, don't you? Like, his boss fight is kind of sad now. Look, I'm not saying Warframe or Destiny's current events are terrible, because they are definitely not. I'm just not sure they are really worth playing if you haven't been, that's all. And furthermore, I feel like Monster Hunter really raised the bar on this type of things with how like necessary the event is to do if you play with any type of frequency and want to make your fights a lot easier. If timed events are going to be there, why not make them something to mark your calendars for, right? But what do you think? Would this be something you'd be excited for? Maybe even yearly if it was made to be this way? Be curious to read through your comments on this one. All that being said, hope you all enjoyed the video today, and if you did and made it this far, a like for the video definitely helps to support the channel. I know I haven't really asked for these in the past, but as I mentioned before, I'm trying for a bit more significant presence on YouTube, and I would love your support if you find what I do worth your time. At any rate, I hope you have a wonderful day today. Wonderful rest of your week. I'll talk at you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.